Well, hello, guys. Afternoon. Sir Little Wolf and Zebulon, Fred Bailey, Virgil. What's going on? Ace Fox. Yes, sir. Good to see you. I just thought we'd do a quick little live stream here. Not a lot going on today. Well, there was a lot going on this morning. If you managed to tune in around 9 o'clock, 9 a.m., when they announced having been able to create an image of that black hole that sits at the center of the Milky Way. I thought that was pretty impressive. So it beats arguing about flat Earth, I think. Certainly makes me feel better not to have to listen to those nitwits. Let's see if we've got a link to the Discord here, in case somebody wants to join in. Hello, Judy Bassett. Fred, I think I already said hi to you. Bendy Lights out there. The Kit. And let's see, there's a link to the Discord. If anybody wants to hop in, feel free. Door's always open. Yeah, Kit soon, I agree with you. I wasn't sure they would ever be able to do it either. There's an awful lot of stuff in the way between us and the center of the Milky Way. But it's pretty damn amazing. Technology has certainly come a long way in my lifetime. I was talking to Mrs. Blue about it at lunchtime. When we were kids growing up, I mean, goodness, things like things you take for granted today, like a telephone call overseas, that was nearly unthinkable in the 1950s. It wasn't that you couldn't do it, but it took a lot of coordination and cost a hell of a lot of money for very little time. Even a long-distance telephone call, coast to coast, was fairly expensive. Today we walk around with a communicator in our hands, talking to anybody on the planet we feel like, and even making video and sending it if we want to. So we've gone from that to being able to visualize a black hole at the center of the Milky Way galaxy. My goodness. Thoroughly, totally amazing. And of course, the people that don't believe in anything will do the usual. When they don't understand something, what do? Well, of course, they'll ridicule it, and they'll ridicule anyone that doesn't seem to understand it. Hello, Brenda. Oh, wait a minute, Brenda. Let me, I know what the problem is. I'll fix you up. Hang on a second. First, I got to find you. You don't have the right role. I need to fix that. Let me see. I'm looking. Are you in there, or are you in the text somewhere right now? Type something in. Oh, there you are. I see you. And now you're all set. You should be able to come in voice chat now if you want to.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, well, yeah, I sure can. How you doing, Brenda?
I'm doing really good. Witsit was absolutely hilarious earlier today, complaining about the black hole announcement.
I heard a little bit of that you're talking about over on Geo's channel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I listened to a little bit of it, not much. I can't listen to very much of Witsit. You know
Well,
how?
he seemed to think that somehow it disproved. Oh, I'm quiet. My voice is quiet. Sorry.
Oh, you're good.
He seemed to think that it had disproved black holes because Witsit doesn't believe that black holes exist, and he cited what was it the Ferrofluid as evidence as what's really going on.
Yeah, I had some settings wrong, so now I think we got you going out to YouTube, Brenda. It wasn't you; it was an OBS setting I had screwed up. So say something again. Let me see what the level looks like.
Okay, I can hear you.
Yeah, you look good now. Yeah, that's what it was. They were hearing you through my mic. I had my speakers on, so I forgot to get everything situated correctly. We're in good
Well,
shape now.
Witsit believes in that. There's that video of a ferrocell,
Yeah.
and he cited that because I think it's because it was orange and circular, basically, as evidence that he said that space is filled with a fluid, and because telescopes have a lens, that therefore space is like a ferrofluid, and that's what we're seeing.
Oh, good grief. AB Science did a video on that. It's all foolishness. Yeah. Witsit comes up with some goofy ideas. There's no question about that.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting.
Yeah, the chat now says
Oh, I'm
you're
too
loud.
loud now. Okay.
You're loud. No, you're
I
loud
can
and
back
clear.
off.
Uh,
I turned my volume down a little.
Okay, that looks perfect. That looks perfect. Sir Little Wolf says Ferrofluid. Yeah, that's what Brenda's talking about. Or I think what Witsit was talking about.
Right. So he thinks there must be a giant magnet in space,
Mm-hmm.
and that space is filled with a medium, he said. And because and I said that the ferrofluid cell is the ferrofluid sandwiched between two thin glass plates, right?
Right.
And then you put a magnet behind it and you shine a laser through it. Well, he said to me in his totally smug way, well, you look through a telescope, and a telescope has glass. It's just.
I got some bad news for him. The telescopes they use to see the black hole don't have any glass, and you can't look through them.
Yeah, I did point out that they were radar telescopes.
Yeah, those are radio telescopes. A whole bunch of
Yeah.
them. Basically,
He suddenly had to go. He had to go then.
That's what happens when he. That's what happens when he gets backed in a corner or realizes he's about to be backed in a corner. He just disappears, which is a good idea for him. In fact, the part of Wits that I like the best is when he disappears.
I have to agree. Yeah. but it's an interesting um, announcement. I watched a little bit. It's really, um, let me see, what do I say? Congratulations in order for having your um, Cavendish experiment part of that university. I mean, that's actually probably a really good learning tool.
Oh, I think it is. The University of Tennessee thinks it is.
Um,
Uh,
Rakia didn't show up. Rakia and they didn't, that bunch, they didn't show up, did they?
no, I didn't even let them. I didn't let anybody know I was doing it, just to avoid any
My God.
foolishness. Though at some point I'll have another try at making it available for people who have genuine interest in seeing it to go down there and meet me one Saturday.
That bunch is so annoying. They're just, oh my God.
Yeah, I was listening to a little bit of what's going on over there on Bev's channel a little bit earlier.
I got
And
super annoyed with them and yelled at them a couple days ago. But even when I don't yell at them, they're super annoying.
yeah,
Uh,
they're a one-trick pony. I mean, all Bev's got is level is horizontal. That's it.
There's something wrong with that boy, isn't there? Is there? Is there
I
something wrong with him, or is he
yeah,
just, or is he just focused on this?
I think he knows better. I remain convinced that he knows very well it's all bullshit, and only because he digs in so strongly when you explain to him what's wrong with his damn test. When you explain to him that you can't.
I
2
agree.
points do not define a damn curve, for God's sakes. You've got to put a third point in there someplace, and if he ever does that, he knows he's going to show the curvature. That's why he won't do it.
Yeah, I got into it with him a couple days ago because he says, well, the um that a horizontal is parallel to the horizon, and I pointed out to him that the horizon is not a plane, and he kept saying it was, and I said, but it's not a plane, it's a line, and if you turn around 360, it's a circle. It's not a plane. And and then it seems like he had to go fix some tea.
Yeah, that'll happen.
That's what Bev does. You know that Bev is sort of giving up when he just kind of he mutters to himself,
Yeah,
and then you can hear the muttering get softer and softer, and he's gone off to fix himself some tea or something.
right. Yeah. Yeah, they are quite an annoying bunch. No, there's no two ways about that. I refuse to go over there. Uh,
I'm going to try really hard not to go over there too because it's just it give me ulcers or something.
yeah, come over here. We can have an intelligent conversation, or try to talk about something at least that's not total bullshit. Oh, they're amazing though. Absolutely. I think if I hear water level one more time, I'm going to start pulling hair out, and maybe not my hair either. Uh, I don't know one surveyor on this planet in his right mind that would pull a water level out of his truck. I know not a one of them that ever worked for me better ever do a thing like that. They'd be off that job site in a heartbeat. Surveyors don't use water levels, for God's sakes.
I can't imagine.
I've had experience with them, and they're useful for some things. Um, I can tell you that the first time I ever used one professionally was at a place called Southland Paper Company outside of Houston, Texas, it had probably been August or September of 1973, and we had a piece of equipment that had a bunch of internal stuff in it that really needed to be level, right? But it was very enclosed, very confined space in there, and no real good way laser levels didn't exist in those days. The little rotating gizmos that you get now. So we didn't have anything like that. And what we would use to level up those parts, those internal parts of that device, was a water level. But I don't think
I mean, today you would just use a laser level
yeah,
because
right.
they're cheaper and easy, set up instantly, right?
Oh, hell of a lot
Like
easier.
if you're doing like construction on your home or a small construction, you just those are just little things. You set them up and you're done.
Yeah, set it up out in the middle of the fields there someplace, in the center of the foundation or whatever if you're making a house. And it's
Well, I
just
don't know anything about this
oh,
stuff though.
I do. It's a little spinning laser, and it's painting a little red line. Anywhere you go, you'll see that line, and it makes it really easy to get everything at the same elevation. And that's what you would do for the equipment we were fiddling around with, working on. We would use that.
I can imagine Bev showing up at a construction site carrying a bunch of tubing, wandering around with the other end of the level. Jesus Christ.
It's a slow process, really. To use a water level.
Hey, got a phone call.
Okay. All right. And Judy Bass is asking, was that in a steam drum? No, Judy, it was in a precip. Leveling up the collecting plate bundles in an electrostatic precipitator is what we were doing. Yeah, that's what we used them for. But that's the only
I'm
time.
back.
Oh, okay.
Did you know that my file just came across her desk and it looks like my vehicle may be at risk of losing coverage?
Really? Uh-oh. That's terrible. You should do something about that immediately.
I did something about it. I hung up on her.
That's not a bad idea. Hello, Demon Orb. What's going on? Oh, Lim. Come on in the chat, buddy. Zebulon, I think I talked to you earlier, maybe. And Repo. I see you out there too. Yeah, we got plenty of room in the Discord, so anybody that wants to join, and if you're not already appropriately assigned, just let me know and I'll fix your roles up so that you can come in here. There's a link again. Yeah, but I thought that was that announcement this morning was outstanding.
Is it true that they had to use a truck to transport the hard drives because there's just too much data?
Yeah, I think that's pretty accurate. Read somewhere that it was about 1,000 pounds of hard drives altogether, but I forget how many telescopes it was that they used, but it was a whole bunch of them. I mean, like 1,000 of them or something.
It's kind of weird that, given that the Earth is flat, they just didn't set up like a radio. They have these radio telescopes. Just point them at each other.
Yeah.
Not funny. Okay, I'll try to come up with something better.
Yeah, sorry, I was.
Yeah, it's okay.
Reading the chat. Let's see. Got too many windows open here. I'm good at this. Yeah. Chris Bowling wanted to know what my profession was. I was an electrical engineer, Chris. or at least training-wise, that's what I was. But I did a whole lot of other things too. I worked in R&D. I did some work in the field. I did a lot of pre-contract work toward the end of my career. For the last 20 years, I guess I was mainly involved in sales and pre-contract, so that sort of stuff. Actually, my attempt was to do as little as I possibly could and get paid as much as I could for it. Like everybody, I suppose. Huh. These foxes.
I think it takes just a few minutes for the material in the accretion disk to rotate around it. That stuff must be really moving.
Yeah, absolutely. I haven't seen anything on how long it takes it to rotate, and I was hoping we'd get some of the astronomy experts in here that could fill us in.
There was a science news alert that I was reading.
But look at how small ours is, the Sagittarius A star, compared to M87. My God. The event horizon for M87 is what, 3 times the size of our solar system? Good Lord. That's amazing.
Yeah, that's quite a difference.
That's a huge difference. Yeah, our whole accretion disk fits inside the event horizon comfortably. Way inside the event horizon for M87. But that thing is, what, billions of solar masses or something silly. I don't know. These may be. I don't think they've got a lot of choices in terms of which black holes they can at the center of galaxies that they'll ever actually be able to have a look at. I don't know if these are the only two or what, but it's apparently not something you do on a Saturday afternoon. Seems like it's something that you got to spend years collecting data on.
They'll be going over that data for years too.
Oh God, yeah. That's just amazing, though. There's some damned clever people out there. And some really damn dumb ones.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Yes. I wake up every day thinking, surely to God they will figure it out today. Nope.
Hopeless. Hopeless. There was somebody in GeoServer after Whitsitt left who kept claiming that the moon gives off its own light and is not a material object.
Oh, that guy, yeah. I was in there.
Yeah.
I was in there listening to some of that. Well, he was the one questioning why all the craters on the moon are circular. Well,
yeah, they're not.
They're not. There are some that are not circular, but the majority of them are. But there's a reason for that.
Yeah.
These clowns think that they won't bother doing any research to figure out what really happens. But, they get the idea that if the thing doesn't strike exactly normal to the surface, you're not going to get a circular crater. Bullshit. the energy release when a meteor strikes like that is basically an explosion. 100 times, 1,000 times the diameter of the rock that hit it. So no matter which angle it comes at, unless it's almost parallel to the surface, it's going to form a circular hole. I think
would that be a tangent to a curve?
Yeah, right.
Can such things be? How can you have a tangent to a curve?
Really? Oh, Alem, hello, sir.
How's it going?
Going well.
Yeah, so if you throw a pebble into a pond, doesn't matter what angle it hits, those ripples are going to go out in a circle.
Yes, they will.
Same thing.
Yeah. Well, the thing's like an explosion.
Actually, if you skip a pebble across the pond, even though that thing is going almost parallel, every time it skips, the ripples are going to be circular.
Yeah.
They do, yeah. They ripple out. Yeah, so that's a great picture. Is this something that is new?
Yeah. Yeah,
How much information are they packing into that truck? Well, I'm looking at so we have terabytes, and 1,000 terabytes is a petabyte, and then an exabyte is 1,000 of those, and 1,000 zettabytes is a yottabyte.
Oh, I don't know. I have no idea, but I know there's a lot of data there.
So like a yottabyte is like 45 trillion 25 gigabyte Blu-ray discs.
Yeah, they said. I think I read that it was like 1,000 pounds of hard drives.
Like
What?
yottabyte.
Way too much information to send over the internet. It would take years to transport that stuff electronically like that. But wow. So what's new with you, Olim?
Oh, I'm going to be in and out doing. I've got lesson reports, but somebody says I'm not loud. I guess I'll just start talking louder.
Yeah, I've got you boosted up on Discord. Let's see. Yeah, I can go.
Usually I'm too loud, so don't complain.
Okay, I think that's all I can give you right there. That should have helped, though. Got you up close to 200% now.
Yeah, usually I'm out on my phone, but I'm in the office for a little bit. Yeah, so did you get one of those telephone scammers, it sounded like? Yeah, those.
That was me. Yeah. I get them all the time.
I like to mess with those. In fact, I had my other YouTube channel used to be, scam baiting. And then I kind of made there's a lot of similarities. Yeah. It's like fighting against flirts and fighting against, phone internet scammers. They have a lot of things in common. Like when you catch them on a lie, they start using the word salad.
Well, I don't think it's even a person. I think it was a recording.
Well, if you hang on the line, you might get a live person, right?
I'm not that desperate.
Somebody wanting you to buy Google Play cards.
Yeah, I get probably on average 4 or 5 of those a day. It's ridiculous. And virtually no way to make it stop.
Well, if it's on my phone, it's right click, block, spam report, delete.
Yeah, I do that too from time to time. I get tired of doing it though. I don't know how many numbers I've got blocked now. God only knows. Typically, I don't even answer it. If it's not a number that I know or someone I know, I just ignore it and let it ring.
Yeah, that's pretty much, yeah.
Just
Yeah,
as
I
effective.
changed my voicemail to say, if you don't leave a message, then it's not important.
And a good afternoon or good evening to Judy Bassett, who just joined us. How you doing,
Judy
Judy?
Bassett here.
Yeah. How are you, Judy?
Fine.
Let's see how your audio is. Say something.
I just dropped in for a visit.
Oh, good. Glad to see you. Always good to see you.
You got any projects coming up? I mean, your video, your YouTube channel wise.
Not really.
Any debunks? You're going to show Brian's logic how to work his software so he doesn't just shrink his Eiffel Towers. Jesus Christ, that man.
I don't know that there's any hope for Brian if you really want to know the truth. He really does. He really thinks you can do that, and I don't know what to do with people that think that way. The size doesn't change.
You can't fix stupid though.
Oh, that's a fact.
Yeah, that's what I was going to mention that earlier. Have you heard of Bonhoeffer's theory of stupidity? Or I think it's a principle of stupidity by Bonhoeffer. Have you heard this?
No, I haven't.
It's actually very intriguing. In a nutshell, stupid people are more dangerous and more destructive than evil people. So and he actually ended up in a concentration camp. He was seeing a lot of hooliganism in Germany in the 1930s. A lot of just destruction and just basically people acting like thugs. Yeah. And they were the ones causing all the damage, whereas it was political ideas that was fueling it. Yeah. So the evil guys constructing this philosophy weren't doing the actual damage. It was the dumb ones. Just like I think it's like somebody, maybe Dr. Bob says, some people sell T-shirts and some people buy them. The dumb people are the ones buying the T-shirts.
Oh yeah, yeah. We certainly have our share of those in this community, without a doubt.
I think that there has to be a universal law of stupidity that varies with in inverse proportion to the distance between the stupid people. So they get closer together, the stupidity increases.
The density of stupidity.
Something like that. I'm sure we can come up with a formula.
Well, that's the herd mentality. Like individual humans are smart, but groups of humans aren't.
And if you get too many of them together, you get an event horizon of stupidity from which nothing can escape.
not even intelligence.
That's not a bad way of looking at it, actually. It's about what it amounts to.
I mean, it looks like you get Nathan Oakley and his crowd all in one room, and they just kind of collapse in on each other.
I wish they'd come up with something different. I mean, we've debunked everything they can have come up with so far. Not only have we debunked it, we've debunked it 20 times, 50 times, 100 times.
Oh,
Every,
this fucking thing with the navigation shit. Oh my God.
yeah, that's just insanity. Total insanity. A bunch of people that can't figure out how a damn sextant works. And it
But you know,
runs.
Raichi might actually be understanding Coriolis.
I saw, yeah, I saw some stuff out of her that made
I,
me
I
think that she
applaud
actually,
her.
yeah, she's actually catching on a little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
That would be refreshing.
Because Nathan's meme right now is that Coriolis is when you have a roundabout, a merry-go-round, and you stand outside of the roundabout and you throw a ball over it. Or if there's a post in the ground and you're spinning around, and the post comes closer to you and goes away, that's Coriolis.
Well,
He's got to know he's just full of shit.
he's been told so many times. I don't know how many videos I've done on Coriolis. Way too many. I'm sure nobody wants
Yeah.
to see another Coriolis video. I don't want to make another one.
Yeah. Coriolis is not when you're on a merry-go-round spinning around and there's a post in the ground next to it. That is not Coriolis. I'm sorry.
Nope. You're right. What they have the hardest time with, it seems to me, is understanding the fact that things can and do different things depending on what frame of reference you're in. And they do them simultaneously. That ball thrown on a merry-go-round, if you're on the merry-go-round, absolutely is curving. It absolutely
yes, it
is. The path it's taking over the surface of the merry-go-round is a curved path. If you observe that simultaneously from an inertial frame, it's moving in a straight line. If I make my
They
frame,
don't understand that. That's the law of non-contradiction. That cannot be, Blue. That cannot be.
no, I'm afraid it is though. And at the same time, if I make my frame of reference the ball itself, it's not moving at all.
That's right.
So,
Everything else is moving around it.
so now that damn ball is doing three things simultaneously. And if we keep going, we can come up with an infinite number of things, paths, trajectories it's taking, just depending on which frame of reference you're talking about. That's what they don't get. And I hate that damn I hate that merry-go-round example in the first place. It's a grade school version of Coriolis. It's easy to see, but you're only seeing it in two dimensions. It's just an XY plane.
Well, they make it simple for people so that they can understand.
Yeah, it's a good way to introduce someone to it. But when you take the step beyond that and want to try to fully understand how Coriolis behaves on the surface of a rotating sphere, now you need a little bit more knowledge. Now you need to understand how vector cross products operate.
Right. It's omega. It's the omega cross product with oh fuck, I don't remember the other vector.
The velocity vector of the object.
Yes, that's right. Omega cross product with velocity.
Right. That's what it is.
But Nathan thinks that because pseudo is in there, it isn't real, and he can just pretend that it just doesn't even exist.
Yeah, see, Bobby, Alaskan Explorer out there in the chat says he's flying back to Knoxville tomorrow. Going to UT to see my work. Well, unfortunately, Bobby, you won't do that. It's been disassembled temporarily and put away in storage while they remodeled the laboratory that it was in. In fact, if you go to my comment section or community section, you'll find a little brief video I did last weekend when we went down and moved the thing. So it's disassembled and not working, and there won't be anybody to show it to you, unfortunately. But I didn't have a choice with that. They were supposed to remodel that lab last year and have it done before I ever took Cavendish down there. Unfortunately, the remodel got postponed. So then I was faced with the following choice: either keep it here in my shop for another 9 months, or take it down there, realizing we were going to have to take it apart and store it temporarily over the summer while they do their work, and then go back and put it back together. But we'll have it up and running again probably August time frame, I think. It's not a lot of work. We didn't fully disassemble. We just took it apart enough that we could move it. So I think we can put it back together in a matter of a couple of hours at most. Let's see.
One thing gets me upset recently is Nathan ragging on Wolfie about and claiming that he's an incompetent pilot for taking Coriolis into account. I think it borders on slander.
I know it does. Yeah, but I mean, what are you going to do to Nathan Oakley, for God's sakes?
Oh yeah, I guess and Wolfie has to be the bigger man. I don't know. Yeah, what else are you gonna do? But yeah.
Well, you could sue the bastard, and all he'll do is a GoFundMe to hire a lawyer. So, you know,
I don't think in
what
I
could
don't
you
think
ever
in the
win?
United States you could sue him, but maybe UK laws are different.
Yeah, Wolfie is out of Australia too, so.
Yeah, slander laws are more difficult in the UK.
Yeah.
They're more difficult? I thought they were.
They're not the same.
I thought some guy successfully sued McDonald's or something using their laws. I don't know. I don't know
But
any of
was
this
it for
stuff.
slander? Was it?
Well,
Okay.
yeah, the fact of the matter is, no matter what, Nathan's not worth anything. What are you going to get? What would you ever get out of that guy? Nothing.
I hear he's got some really nice sound baffles.
Yeah. That's what I need, a pickup truckload of styrofoam to
The fuck does he
ship.
need sound baffles for running his damn little show? Holy crap.
Who knows?
But he definitely missed the boat. Ranty's tearing it up. Holy mackerel. Guy's blowing up.
Yeah, I like Randy. Randy's
I like mentioning it because it just burns the flurfs that used to know him and stuff. It just burns them.
yeah, Randy was one guy that while he was a flat earther, I didn't agree with him, of course. But by the same token, there was a time when he had Bob Nodell coming in his chat. And every time Bob saw me, he would mute me or boot me. And I would sit down and write Randy an email and say, hey, you know, he did it again. All I had to do was just say hello, and Nodell would block me. And Randy was always pleasant and cooperative and so forth. So I never got really crossways with him. And I'm glad to see him on this side of the fence. And it really disturbs them that the Blackpool Tower is the thing that did it. Hey, thanks, Bev.
Yeah, we got Bev to thank for that. Yep.
Yeah, Bev made that same damn picture. Or Bev's son did, or somebody. Yep, same picture, same thing.
Or as Bev said, that photo is nicked off Facebook. Like like something is stolen from Facebook.
Oh, you mean like that, 20 hours of content he nicked off of this server? Yeah. People who live in glass houses, Bev. Good grief. Those idiots were going to talk about square roots. What the hell could they... How could you do a show about square roots?
Who's going to do?
Bev, today. His
He
show.
doesn't know what a square root is.
That's what he said they were going to talk about. I don't know.
It's tempting to go in there and suggest what the square root of a -1 is, but
I'm afraid you'd get an answer.
Which I'm sure is great at parties.
they don't think 0 is a real number or negative numbers.
Well, I would definitely drive them crazy. How can a letter be a square root? One of those little mysteries of life, fellas. Steamy Traveler out there says, how jealous do you think Nathan is of Randy's recent view counts on his Absurdity channel? I haven't really been visiting Randy much.
I think Ranty gets more comments on his video than Nathan gets viewers.
That's perfect. That is perfect.
And Nathan's been publishing like what, in the morning, the afternoon, and night, and they're only getting 3, 4, 5, 600, and then over a period of a couple of days, they creep just above 1,000 or so.
Yeah.
But never mind right now.
Narcissists don't mind being shown up or people doing better than them. What are you talking about?
Simon Dan asked his viewers to not visit Nathan's, and Nathan's views plummeted like in half.
I unsubscribed to Nathan about a year ago. I mean, anywhere I'm blocked, what's the point?
Wow. Steamy Traveler says Randy has over 21 million views in the last week.
Yeah. He's yeah.
That's incredible. Now that's a business opportunity.
Well, he said something about it. He's had to take measures because of all of the trolls that are attacking his channel.
I wouldn't
I would
doubt it.
imagine.
$10 million. That is phenomenal.
Yeah, it is.
I didn't realize he was doing that. I knew he was doing pretty well. I had no idea it was anything like that.
Well, Ranty is a likable guy. He can talk really well. He can be really easy. I'm trying to think of this. It just you know, easy to talk to, an affable guy. You know, just generally you know, a nice person and stuff, and that's going to help with the views and stuff. People are going to like him simply on that basis alone, being that kind of personality that he has. And then, of course, with the being the controversial topic, that attracts a lot of views.
Yeah, I had no idea that you could attract that kind of views with any kind of flat Earth channel.
Oh well, you know, this is a big deal. This is a big thing. Nobody's out watching. Nobody's paying any attention to flat Earth. Nobody's paying attention to that.
That's a fact.
You know, we're just a tiny little corner of the internet.
Insignificant little corner of it, really. Hello, Mr. Malort.
Hey, Blue, how you doing?
Doing well. How are you?
Pretty good. Winding down the school year, so getting there.
All right.
My school year's over.
Lucky you. I got 4 weeks left.
Really?
Yeah, we don't start till after Labor Day, this was our last late start. We adjusted our schedule, but we've always started after Labor Day, so we get out, God knows, sometime in June. It's horrible.
And then back again right after Labor Day, huh?
Yeah, pretty much. Actually, not much of a summer. I'm out late in June, and then we're starting like August 22nd. We're going to do an early start so we can get off like right after Memorial Day now, which is nice.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Steamy Traveler. Yeah. He has been covering that Depp Heard trial. Yeah, that's going to draw a lot of attention. Absolutely. That'll do it. I forgot all about that. Yeah, that explains it.
Oh yeah, Ranty. Yeah, he's been doing a 9-hour stream each day of the trial. So.
Yeah. Yeah, you sure as hell aren't going to get 1 million views on a flat Earth live stream.
Yeah, nobody cares about that.
Nobody cares.
But hopefully he cuts them up, because I try to. Sorry to say, I don't watch. Well, sometimes I do, but I don't watch these long 2 and 3 hour long videos. I like it if it's kept down to, let's say, about 20 minutes. 10 or 15 is even better. 5 minutes is okay. You know.
That's been kind of my rule, the way I've tried to go about it. I know that any video I do that goes over 20 minutes is going to probably not do as well. If you can stay under 20,
things to do, places to go,
yeah,
people to see.
Yeah, I try to target being in the range of say 15 to 18 minutes, somewhere in there.
Yeah,
Doesn't
I think
always
that's
work.
a good range. I think that's a good range.
Doesn't always work. Sometimes it takes more than you want it to. And sometimes I find something fun that I can do in 5 minutes, and that's good too.
Well, what some channels do that I've seen is that they'll do a long form, and then they'll cut it up.
Yeah. Yeah, that's.
Yeah, I like listening when I work out or when I drive for a while,
Oh, there's
and
that. Yeah.
Yeah, so I appreciate like the 40-minute plus videos. Because like a
That's fair
5-minute
enough.
video, I'm looking for something next, and it's like, oh shit, I'm driving. I don't want to do that.
Yeah, but it can't be too crazy because you crash your car.
I got premium, so I turn off the screen mostly, and it's if they're talking the whole time, it bothers me. Like some creators just put words up on the screen. It's like, dang it, I'm driving. I can't read that.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, like whenever they try to bust on a Flatzoid video, it's like, oh, I know this is prime stuff, but Flatzoid never talks. He only puts text on the screen, so I can't.
That boy ain't too bright. He ain't too bright.
Yeah, I'm like you. I like to put on long shows and just have it on in the background while I'm doing other things. I do that a lot.
Oh yeah, like Jose for a couple hours just to get like yard work and stuff like that done, just in one ear. That's perfect.
Yeah. Hello to Feral Cat out in the chat. What's going on? Chris Bowling, Snark. Vroom Fondle's out there. Archimus, Doofus. Come on in, buddy. You're welcome in here. Let's see, I'll stick the link back out there again. There we go. Yeah, I enjoy doing these little live streams. They're kind of fun. I try to call them, make them not run more than 3 hours or so.
Yeah, they're fun, except you don't get any of the idiots. You don't let the idiots show up, and sometimes I just need a good shit show.
Yeah, it's the idiots don't want to come over here.
Yeah.
They don't really want to talk to me. It's almost like
Oh
they're
yeah, they learned the lesson the hard way. They got their asses handed to them.
yeah, they act like they're afraid or something. They're good at throwing out challenges and then really bad at showing up. Still waiting on SE Montreal or Mobius, either one of those two clowns. They'll never be here. I would even put up with Rockia for a minute.
Oh, I can't take his new shtick. Like, he's too cool for the room. Like, he doesn't know. He's been like questioning things like he's been told 2,000 times. Like, oh, I don't know who Jose is. Jose? Is that someone that has a show? Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Even with your Cavendish.
SE, what the hell is up with SE Montreal? He can't possibly be that stupid, can he?
Unfortunately, I think he can.
Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing some of the things he comes up with.
Well, SE has the perfect flat earth mentality. Anything you don't understand, rather than trying to understand it, simply ridicule it and ridicule the people that do understand it.
Well,
So,
as far as I can tell, and I don't know if I'm right, but I think he's still running that thing where you have the two observers and there's a hill between them both going down, and he's that thing. With the Alice and Bob thing.
Yeah,
he still believes that. I don't know what the hell is wrong with him.
I'm skeptical of him. I don't think any human being is that dumb and still has like autonomous.
I know, but he still says that stuff. So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he's just very clever in his stupidity. Like what, like Blue says, that's a question, not a challenge. Because I've even fixed his model for him. Like, no, they're not both looking downhill. There is no hill. And he said, oh, well, if you want to believe that, it's just the, what is it? Reductio ad absurdum.
Yeah.
Just say, well, it's actually even worse than that. It's just, you just make fun of it. It's like the bully in the back of the class, laughing at the smart kid at the chalkboard.
Yeah. Yeah, that's basically what it is. But from their point of view, you know, they say stupid things like that or ridicule things, and see who agrees with them, because those are the ones that are even dumber than they are. I think SE uses that as a method to figure out who you ought to be talking to and who not.
I still can't get over Gary not understanding you'd have to scale down the curvature of the Earth when you scale down a model.
So typical of those people, though. Yeah,
Yeah, it is typical. A lot of flurfers have trouble with scale.
But you would have to scale down your camera. Remember? You came up with that the other
oh my
day.
God, yeah, that's the one that got to me. So if you got a 1 to 5,000 scale drawing, you need a 1 to 5,000 scale camera to make a picture.
Well, I want you to show me on this basketball, water clinging to the basketball and little planets rotating around it. I think Democ says that, doesn't he?
Yeah, a lot of them do.
Ooh, Democ, that's some weapons grade there.
Yeah. Yeah, there are a bunch of them stuck right in the bottom end of stupid. You're hot micing a little bit, Mr. Malort.
I will mute myself while I get myself home.
Yeah.
One that concerns me is that guy Lindsay. I don't think he should be left alone.
I don't know him very well.
He does videos with him on a whiteboard, and he's always talking about the torus fields and the sky as a torus and all of this. But after talking with him a little bit, we went back and forth a few times, and I've watched a few more of his videos. Either he needs a sitter, or he has a sitter and he just gets away from him every now and then to make a video.
What's the name of his channel?
Oh shoot, I'd have to go look.
That's okay.
I don't recommend it to look at. It's a lot of word salad and gibberish, but he is dead serious, and he really concerns me.
Yeah.
He's not debatable because you can't understand anything of what he's trying to say.
And he thinks it's because he's smarter than everybody else that nobody can understand him. Not that he's not saying words in the proper order.
Well, I like new flurf insanity or something like that. Like that mud fossil guy. That was hilarious. Looking at rocks, calling. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, well, I've never tried to do a debunk of Lindsay, and nobody else has either that I can think of, simply because you can't make enough sense out of what it is he's trying to say to even debunk it. It is just totally off the wall.
Yeah,
Well,
it's just too crazy to even be wrong.
Yeah. Hello, Triggered Limey.
well, you know, here in Minnesota, we have what's called a Rule 38, which is people that can't really care for themselves, but we don't have institutions. It's just basically a home with on-site nursing and stuff. But I'm sure even those homes have internet connections.
Well, he has a nice whiteboard that he talks on. He draws all of his tourist drawings and stuff.
Yeah. Yep.
There's another guy that I actually was impressed with. I'd have to look up his stuff. But he was the only one I saw that actually put some serious effort into trying to understand the equatorial melt. I've always found it fascinating that they can't understand the geometry of two axis of rotation versus one, or the angle to the celestial pole. And they can't understand those simple geometry of an equatorial mount, but yet they want to talk about particle physics and stuff like that. And
well, you pointed at Polaris, right?
No, you actually
You
pointed
don't?
to the celestial pole. If you pointed at Polaris, you're not going to track anything.
I don't know anything about the equatorial mounts.
Well,
Totally.
Polaris is close to the pole, but you pointed to the pole. If you pointed at Polaris, you're not gonna be able to track it very long.
Okay.
And the thing is, you pointed to the celestial pole in the southern hemisphere also. So
That's a begging the question fallacy there, buddy.
well, you can beg all you want, but that's how it operates.
I got a question about equatorial mounts.
Shoot.
Okay, let's say you have two people with equatorial mounts, and they're kind of antipodal to each other, like one in Michigan, one in Australia, and you both started tracking the sun. Wouldn't they almost be like tracking opposite each other? You know what I'm saying? The one in Michigan would be looking down towards the Earth, while the one in Australia would be looking out towards the sun. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, if it's daylight in Australia, yes.
Yes. So, like, the two angles would be supplementary almost?
Yeah.
Boy, I don't know.
Axis.
Close to it. I mean, yeah, but
they'd be pointing in the same direction compared to the axis of the Earth. So they'll both be pointing at the sun. So if you look at it from outside the Earth, one will be pointing towards the ground, whereas the other one's pointing to the sky.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
One of the cool things too. You can actually, depends on how your mount is made and what you put on it, but you can track the sun, the moon, or any star all the way around 24 hours, and you can have it to where your camera's facing straight at the ground, and then whenever it comes back up, it's going to be pointing straight at that star.
Yeah, we've seen Wolfie do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if someone was on the opposite side, like say Bob in Michigan from Wolfie, their telescopes would kind of almost be looking at each other, sort of.
No, they'll be looking. Nope, they're looking in the same direction. They'll both be pointed in exactly the same direction. One will be looking at the ground, and the other will be looking in the sky.
Okay. Now I see. Yeah. Okay. You're right. They would. Yeah, it would be a straight line almost between them.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I was thinking opposites, like they turn towards each other. But yeah, you're right now. Now that I see it.
One thing that you can do is you can get a little app for your phone. It's called Skyview, and if you get that little app, you could actually point your phone at a star or constellation. It'll tell you what the star is and everything, and you can hold it on there, and it'll give you the path of it across the sky. But you could point it at the ground and see what else is there. It allows you to track like the Hubble Space Telescope or the ISS and everything, and most of the time it's below the horizon from your perspective. So you could find out where on the other side of the Earth it is in relation to you by just pointing your phone like that. And you could track the sun at night with that app also.
Will it do like a plate solve to figure out what star you're looking at?
What it does is it just uses the accelerometers in your phone and the little compass in your phone to kind of get an orientation of what direction your phone is facing, and then it just uses something like a stellarium type map.
Yeah.
To determine what's there. It doesn't actually do like a plate solve, I don't think. There's the pro version, which I ended up downloading. It's hardly nothing, but and I think you could connect that to the camera and do a plate solve, but you could also have it to where it actually gives you the field of view for your camera that you're going to use.
Yeah.
It's a neat little free app. It does pretty neat. It also, there's a lot of satellites, but it also gives you where a lot of the space junk is. So you can actually see where the different booster segments are that have just been left up in space, because after they launch, the boosters separate and they're still floating around in space. So it tracks all of those.
Yeah, it's pretty accurate. One time I was sitting out in my yard and it was around sunset, and I caught a real high flash off something. I knew it wasn't a plane, so I pulled it out, and it was a satellite at that time going over.
Yeah, it tracks quite a few of the satellites too.
And the pro version does work with your camera. It superimposes the stars over your live view camera.
Right.
So when you suffer from light pollution around here like I do, it really comes in handy.
Yeah, it's a neat little app, especially the free version works really well for what you pay for it, for sure.
All right, guys, I'm checking out. Have a good day, everyone.
All right, man.
All right.
Take care. I'm looking at my 2 cents in the chat talking about Wolfie needing to adjust the camera as it nears the horizon. Well, yeah, you get some real serious levels of refraction when you get down very close to the horizon and trying to look at something that's all the way out in outer space, not just a satellite either. You're looking through every bit of Earth's atmosphere sideways. So, yeah,
If you kind of think about where the ground position is of whatever it is you're looking at that's over the horizon like that. The moon,
yeah,
in essence. What's the ground position of the moon when you're looking at it next to the horizon? It's at least 6,000 miles away.
yeah. Well, they say, and I'm sure it's correct too, that, when the upper limb of the moon, when the lower limb of the moon, for instance, touches the horizon, the moon's already below the horizon at that point.
Yeah, due to the refraction.
Yeah. Refraction is half a degree at those very low angles like that, and looking at something that's all the way out of the atmosphere. Yeah, so it's going to appear to slow down, isn't it? Makes sense. It should.
Yep.
Well, that's why you see the sun or the moon looking all squished when it gets down close to the horizon, too.
That's why you try to avoid looking at stuff at the horizon.
Yeah, exactly. But by the time it's up 15 degrees in the sky or so, there's not a lot of refraction going on then.
Even on GPS receivers, we normally set the elevation mask of the receivers to where they, at minimum 10 degrees, we usually go about 15 degrees. So it won't receive any signals from satellites below 15 degrees above the local horizon. And that's because those signals will start to refract, but you also get something called a multipath if you're not careful. Like if you're on the ocean or whatever.
Oh, yeah. You get the signal bouncing off of something else.
Yes, and then your receiver has to figure out which one it wants to receive.
Right. Right. No, my 2 cents. I didn't admit that it can't track past the horizon. That's not what I said. It will continue to track, and it will be tracking the sun or the moon when it comes up 12 hours later. It's still tracking the actual position of the sun or the moon. It's just you won't see it.
What? They make machines that can track things that I can't see with my human eye?
Yeah, they do, actually. Amazing, isn't it?
What wizardry is this?
Clever people, those engineer types. How
No,
dare-
I almost like microscopes almost as much as telescopes.
Yeah. Yeah, how dare those lying bastards build technology like that? Stuff that proves the earth isn't flat, for God's sakes. Who are these evil people?
One of the other ones is tracking those saddle looms.
Yeah.
We we have a ton of these or if you've seen any pictures of ships, there's these domes on these ships.
Mm-hmm.
Underneath those domes is a satellite dish with a drive motor on it to where it could actually stay pointing towards the satellite as the ship moves. As the ship heaves, pitches, rolls, and changes heading, that dish will stay pointed at that satellite. Otherwise, it'll lose its link. As it moves, changes position, it'll point at that satellite. If you cross under the equator, that dish is going to be pointing straight up. If you go south of the equator, and that dish is pointing north. That's what those dishes are designed to do, and that's exactly what they do, because they have to stay pointed at the satellite.
What is this? What is that dish called?
It's just any satellite dish that's on a vessel. There's it's a tracking dish. So there's a bunch of companies that make them, and they're used for a bunch of different things. They actually have ones for video and data telemetry and internet.
Isn't
Just entertainment
Raytheon
stuff.
a big brand?
Raytheon is. There's several others.
Okay.
I'm drawing a blank on one right now. It's KVH makes a bunch of them. They're the little smaller ones usually.
My 2 cents out in the chat, still going at it. He says the Wolfie's got a time lapse of a sunset with a solar filter, and the sun definitely shrinks. No, it doesn't. It compresses vertically, but it doesn't shrink. The width of it never changes.
Yeah, that one's just silly. It's already old, but they're still beating on it.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to give it up either.
So it goes from directly overhead to 5,559 miles away without changing size. But then for the last 50, 40 miles, that's when it changes size.
Yeah.
You know, I used to have an EQ mount, like a light EQ mount that I would like track the sun with, and when I was done, it was small enough to pick it up and just bring it back into the house, and sometimes I would forget to switch it off. And it would track the sun through the floor. until I switched it off, and it would still, because I brought it back into my house, still with a rough alignment. It would continue to track the sun through the grind until the sun came up the next morning.
Yeah.
Yep.
How you doing, John?
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm very tired, but yeah, I'm okay.
Oh, it's good to hear from you, man.
Yeah, I've been pulling timber out of forest with a 7-ton pull winch today, which was quite interesting.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's a lot of work.
Yeah. I'm really tired. But yeah, I heard someone talking about EQ mounts. I just had to, obviously, I had to drop it.
Well, I certainly have no experience with them whatsoever, but I understand them, and I've seen them operate, thanks to the modern miracle of YouTube.
Yeah, it's God. I mean, there's no going back. You know, with the if you've got some kind of firm understanding of how an EQ mount works, and you know, it tracks on a geodesic, like a
Right.
great circle.
Yeah.
You know, and
When properly aligned, it does. Right.
yeah,
What
yeah,
I really like is there's some beautiful video of tracking like the halo of the Milky Way, and you can actually see in time lapse the rotation of the Earth. It's really it's indisputable and beautiful.
What do you think about
yeah. But
What do you think about today's image of Sagittarius A star, John?
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I saw that. Yeah. That's well, obviously, I think it's great, but I mean, it's the unfortunate thing about that to the layman is that it's extremely difficult to understand exactly how that image was taken. You
So
know,
it'd be very easy to just be I just say it's a CGI.
yeah, yeah.
The best description I've heard of it was it looked like Uranus after a Carolina Reaper passed through it.
Yeah. It's very very convoluted how they arrived. I mean, I have personally I have no problem with how they arrived at that image, and I understand how they did it, but to explain that to the layman, or even someone who was, you know, like a flat earther who was like, no, I'm not buying it. It's not there. But I think it's an amazing achievement. I think, and I think they've done it before with a galaxy called M87.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the original target was the Milky Way's own black hole. I can't remember why they didn't do it, But yeah, it's a really impressive image. And one of the things that from the original MH7 image that really stands out to me, that they really wanted to make sure that they weren't just seeing like faces in the clouds.
Yeah.
They gave the data to, I think, 3 or 4 geographically separate teams and asked them to process the data, and they all came up with the same image. You know, so it is what it is. You know,
the reason why Sagittarius A star was they considered it more difficult was because it was smaller and things moved faster around it. The original one was a much larger black hole, so things moved slower around it. Even though it was a lot further away, since things move slower, taking basically a timed exposure was a lot easier, since they were trying out this new technique. But the Sagittarius A star is a lot more dynamic and has more things happening at a lot faster time scales. So it makes it more difficult to photograph, even though they were using microwaves.
The Sagittarius A star it's actually somewhat bigger, but yeah, it's because it's kind of strange because it's in our own galaxy. We have to look through lots more dust and gas to look at it, and it's actually easier to look at the black hole in another galaxy, which is pretty fucking strange, but it's just the way it is.
Yeah, I don't even think. Can you even see that part of the sky through an optical telescope?
No.
It's all blocked by the dust and gas clouds and crap that's between us and it.
Yeah.
So the radio telescopes are about the only way you're ever going to see it. But it's just phenomenal how they've managed to do that. I'm really impressed. But you track this back through the ages. You go back 107 years now, back to the time of Einstein, and general relativity predicts that black holes ought to exist, right? Now, as telescopes have gotten bigger, we've been able to see not a black hole, but stars close to the center of galaxies orbiting around something which is not visible. There's some huge gravitational field there. And you can see the stars doing it with an optical telescope. So there must be a black hole in there. Now we've got pictures of the event horizon anyway. The accretion disk anyway. I think it's pretty cool. Charlie out in the chat says you can see it in infrared.
Yeah, the stars orbiting around it was done in infrared to get through the dust. And the black hole in M87 is about 1,000 times larger than Sagittarius A star.
Yeah, according to that picture, and it's up in Discord right now too. If you can watch what I've got live on my screen. Yeah, that M87 is huge. They showed you Pluto's orbit, and the center of that accretion disk is 3 times the diameter of Pluto's orbit. The whole accretion disk for Sagittarius A star looks to be about the orbit of Mercury. That's phenomenal stuff, though. There were a lot of people working on that. Where'd John go? He dropped out. Guess so. Maybe shout out to everybody out in the chat. Let's see. We got Peter G out there. Heads is out there. Ernie Matthews. Eco Jar. Stephen Mudd. Who else do I see? Real Cygnus is out there. 53 people watching. Tom C. Tudor. I think I got you fixed up, Tom. You're a moderator now. Yeah, you are. I just saw you post something. So yeah, good stuff. Good stuff out there. So I'll stick the image of the boats back up just to confuse SE. And no, that is not a hump. Down is in a different direction for every one of them, SE. So anything else been happening, IB?
Not a whole lot. I had those little talks on Gio's channel a while back, but then I haven't had a whole lot going on. I've been busy with doing other things lately.
Yeah, I've been visiting Gio's channel a little bit. It's calmed down somewhat, I think. I was in that channel early on that server, early in the game, and it was just more than I could stomach, honestly. But they seem to have gotten a lot more fair about the way they moderate people.
Yeah, the times that I've jumped on, I don't jump on too often, but whenever I do, it's been a lot less dumpster fire-ish. I don't care for the yelling and over talking and all of that.
No, I don't get into that either.
If we're going to talk, we're going to talk and actually be able to understand what each other's saying.
Yeah, now it's pretty good unless Rocky is in there. But Rocky is going to overtalk everybody, no matter what.
There's one or two that get in there where it's like it turns into a dumpster fire every time. So
Yep, wits it. Yeah.
I'm not known. I wonder how long I could talk without getting muted.
Well, I don't know.
you could probably talk a good while. I've talked quite a while. Actually, one of those streams I did was over 2 hours long. Now, Eggshells had the moderator status, temporary mod status, and all, but and they had people come in and ask questions and stuff like that, and I thought I had fun. It was good, but it was interesting because I was actually able to make points and actually answer without actually give an actual real answer to something, which is pretty unusual for these Discord conversations. Usually you could get 3 or 4 words out, and if you don't make your point in those 3 or 4 words before somebody walks over you, you're not going to get your point out.
Yeah. And then if you shorten your answer slightly for the sake of expediency and to, avoid somebody talking over the top of you.
And then it doesn't make sense anymore.
Yeah, or some clown is going to pick on the slight inaccuracy that comes from the simplification.
Yeah.
And I find that very irritating. Had an exchange with a guy yesterday over there who was denying that nuclear weapons exist. His evidence is he lives in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Okay, yeah, good for you. What's that got to do with anything? And he assured me that Los Alamos is only 100 miles away, and he would know it if they had ever set a bomb off. Well, almost everybody that actually saw that bomb go off are dead now, or approaching 100 years of age, But I made the mistake. I assumed that most reasonable people understand that there were 3 primary sites involved in World War II in the Manhattan Project. One was 10 miles from where I live here, Oak Ridge, Tennessee. That's where they were enriching uranium. Hanford, Washington, where they were making plutonium. And Los Alamos, right? But Los Alamos was really 2 separate places. It was the laboratories there near the little town of Los Alamos and the test site, which is over at White Sands. Well, I just say Los Alamos. And that they got those guys all triggered. No, they didn't set a damn bomb off in Los Alamos, the town. They set it off out in the desert at the Trinity site, which was under the control. It was just basically a remote part of Los Alamos lab at that point.
They turned the desert to town.
Huh?
I said they turned the desert to glass, not to town.
That's right.
They planted a small forest out there just for testing too.
Mm-hmm.
Concreted the roots into the ground.
Yeah, they had to invent a name for it. They called it trinitite, I think. It was a greenish glass that that bomb fused all the sand right under it.
Haven't they preserved a small amount of it under glass?
It made glass.
No, I mean the sand. They've actually covered it with a sheet of glass. I remember seeing something on the net about it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they preserved a very small amount of it because I think they carted most of it off, but there's a small amount of it preserved.
Well, and that would have been a good thing to do. It was really thin, you know. It's not a thick layer of it or anything, but yeah, you can see pictures of the guys back in right after a few weeks after the test. Oppenheimer and some of the guys walking around out there with booties on to keep that stuff from getting stuck in their shoes. I imagine it was a bit radioactive. Oh, what this kid was wanting to argue about, though, you know, as a dry run before the actual test, they stacked up about 100 tons of TNT and detonated that. They wanted to do that to test all their cameras and optics and sensors and one thing or the other, and they even put a plastic tube full of radioactive material from Hanford liquid stuff down in the middle of that pile of TNT, just to study how it was going to disperse around the site. And this guy.
What kind of material that was in that tube?
Hmm?
What kind of material was in the tube? Just something light?
Plutonium of some sort, I guess. I don't know. They got it, a slug of something or the other from Hanford, and it was dissolved in some liquid or the other. But this guy was trying to claim that was the explosion. No, that was the practice for the test.
So what you're saying is basically this test was a very lightly dirtied bomb.
Yeah, they made a dirty bomb. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. But it was really more about testing all the instrumentation.
Yeah, you gotta know what happened. Trinity was a good example of them set up a big whack of dynamite just to see what it would do.
Yeah.
What did that weigh?
That's what we're talking.
A ton.
That's what we were talking about. It's 100 tons.
Oh, was it? I thought it was 1 ton.
No, it was 100 tons. A little more, a little less, but right around there.
Oh yeah.
I think that.
So it was the Trinity you're talking about. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought they did something recent. Like what?
No, I think that still may be the largest chemical explosion anybody ever intentionally set off.
I'd put a good contender as the Halifax explosion. Obviously, it's not beat by that, but I mean, it's a good contender.
Yeah, that wasn't intentional, though, was it?
No, but it is definitely a good contender for the biggest chemical explosion.
Yeah.
Another one that was a good sized one is Pepco. That was a big one.
Well, there was one in Texas someplace.
Wasn't that Pepco? Isn't that where Pepco is? Pepco chemical plant.
Oh, yeah, I think so.
It basically made itself cease to exist. It made the rocket fuel. Yeah, but go figure. You make rocket fuel out of this chemical and, ammonium chloride and aluminum. So what do you store it in? Aluminum containers? I'm sure. Does anybody hear some resounding logic on that one?
Doesn't seem right.
Throw a catalyst in the fuel.
Yeah.
But I think they forgot about some detail that no one could have ever imagined about a certain volume of it being together in one spot. Could have led to something.
Forgot their safety procedures.
Like if I take and dump enough current through something from a capacitor bank, and you got a Geiger counter pointing at that, if it's a big enough discharge, you'll sometimes get a little tiny burst of radioactivity. Because you actually can literally break bonds. And that's the same with welding. Try welding. The radioactivity around the weld will go up just a little bit sometimes.
Yeah, discharges like that can break chemical bonds.
Yeah, they can actually break nuclear bonds if there's enough power there.
Yeah, I worked one time on when I was in R&D, we got interested in a patent that Florida State University held on a reactor that was designed to use positive streamer corona to break bonds, and you could turn stuff like SO2 into SO3 or things like that. We were looking at it from the standpoint of air pollution control, but it just took so damn much energy, so much of it is wasted.
Yeah.
Never could figure out a way to make it economical. But yeah, I know it can do it. Hell, you do that with any kind of spark gap. That was a problem they always had with early radar equipment that had, mechanical type rectifiers in them.
Oh, you mean the corrosion around the brushes?
Yeah. It's
that's why a lot of that stuff had to be ventilated a good way to help reduce that.
Yeah, you were making.
Or they kept a gas around it.
What you'd make was nitric acid.
Yeah, nitrogen.
Yeah, it would break nitrogen bonds, and you'd end up making nitric acid. Small quantities, but over time, it's enough to corrode the hell out of the equipment. So, or at least that's the story we tell everybody. Hello, Genesis. What's going on?
Thanks, Blue. Nice to be here.
Yeah, good to see you, man.
Yeah, thank you. I've been onto Bev's channel and tried to get booted there, but I didn't succeed. It seems like Bev have some liking for me.
My condolences.
I don't know.
But
I don't go into the VC anymore because my English is not that good, so they will crush me. And George advised me not to go on there anymore, so I don't.
It's a waste of time going in there, I think.
Yeah. But it was interesting today. They were discussing these transcendental numbers and things like that. And I'm sure that and no one in there knows what the transcendental number is. But they like to discuss it. Yeah. And now Brenda is in there discussing, but I think Brenda is good, but she's saying a lot of stuff like people are idiots and things like that. So she normally get booted.
I disagree that you need to be extremely fluent in English. In fact, translating some of this ridiculous, stuff into another language and then repeating it, it exposes how absurd it really is. And it makes your debate skills actually more logical when you don't have as many words to play around with. Yeah. And also, all you need is 3 chords and the truth, my friend.
I thought you were going to say that all you need is love, love.
All you need is love. Yes.
Okay. All right.
Come on, John Lennon.
Yeah, but in writing, I'm pretty good at English in writing. I think so. So I'm now writing on the YouTube channel and in the Discord also. And I have been discussing some things with this Mike. What's he called? Mike Jones. I think he's a really despicable person. He only attacks people. He has nothing to say and contribute to the discussion. He's just attacking people with these nasty things he has to say about everything.
Well, that seems to be all he's about. He and several other of those guys over there. Mike Jones, Rakia. That's all they do.
Yeah, Rakia. He's strange because he seems to be the main concern for him is to bring out himself, how rich he is and all his boats he has and things like that.
Yeah.
He has nothing else to contribute to the discussion, I think.
Yeah,
He
he's
needs to apologize to trees
yeah.
for wasting oxygen.
He's a very narcissistic sort of guy.
Yeah, but I believe he's pretty rich. He's playing poker with success, I think. So probably he's a fortune guy. Yeah.
Yeah, that's quite likely to be the truth. But for some reason, I want to say the same thing to him that they always say to us. Cool story, bro.
Yeah, cool story, huh?
Yeah, he probably has a good poker face. He's got a good poker voice. He's...
The earth is round.
Yeah.
That's the only problem.
Is this conversation being live streamed, just out of curiosity?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, then I should keep you quiet then.
No, not
If
at
it's
all.
live.
Not at all. They get tired of
But
listening to
maybe
me.
I could go into Bev and ask him what the greatest angle you can measure the sextant. That's my fame.
Depends on how cute she is, you know.
And it's even better, in fact, if you destroy a flattopian with an accent. It drives it even further home. But it's kind of if you like to torture yourself, though.
Yeah, after all that he went through with you that day, Genesis, absolutely insisting that a sextant couldn't possibly measure an angle greater than 60 degrees, and being shown and proven to be so wrong about it, to this day, he will not admit that he made a mistake. He has never...
Even if it's on his own sextant that he owns, it says 120 degrees on it.
Yeah, exactly.
He didn't understand what that meant.
Exactly. If he even...
It's pretty warm, 120 degrees. You can burn yourself with that pretty quick. In Celsius, it's even worse because that's well beyond boiling.
Yeah, we do Fahrenheit, so it feels cooler.
120 degrees Celsius, that's third degree quite quickly, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's cake baking temperature.
Yeah, if you keep meat at that temperature for a few minutes, you have it well cooked.
Yeah, absolutely.
Today at BEVS, they were discussing these transcendental numbers, and they said that the square root of 2 was a transcendental number. And I tried to write in the YouTube chat that it was not a transcendental number, but I didn't get any answer. It just disappeared.
Wait a second. Transcendental numbers exist, but non-Euclidean geometry does not?
I don't know.
They think math is like a
What
buffet.
did you say now?
A little pick and choose, a little from here, a little corn on the side there.
I think Bev is a bit obsessed with the pi number, because the pi is not the same in alternate geometries, like in a spherical geometry or a parabolic geometry, and the pi is different. But pi
Right, it's
is
not-
not different. Pi
You
is
say-
the ratio between the circumstance of a circle and the diameter. But in spherical geometry, that ratio is different. But pi is still the same number. It doesn't change.
You know, there's actually the odd flurf out there that's starting to give up on the 8 inches per mile thing.
But the 8 inches per mile squared is okay, I think. It's rather okay. Or?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
what?
Yeah, it works fine.
Yeah, but it's only the drop. You
That's-
don't take into account the height of the observer.
Right.
Then you have to use a different formula, yeah?
Yeah, exactly. No, it's perfectly accurate for calculating the drop.
Yeah, but not over 600 kilometers.
I think
Then
it's
you wind up with
rather okay
parabola.
for long distance.
What I mean is that flat earthers are finally, some of them are starting to understand that, yeah, that don't work over long distances. Somebody got food. Somewhere.
Yeah, but over any practical distance that we're talking about, it works just fine.
And if you're talking about those kinds of distances, you're not going to be getting as close down to the ground as possible. That doesn't make any sense. There'll be like two fleas arguing on whether an elephant is 2 dimensions or not. It was like, oh, get down really low. It's like, no, you jump up. You're a flea. You can jump high. But again, the problem is always scale.
Always.
Actually, if you ever watch fleas jumping or study them, they're actually pretty good at aiming in 3 dimensions to hit the target, hit the dog's ass.
Fleas know the elephant's not flat. Fleas are smarter than flirts.
Well, that's a given. You know, I mean, that's just like tires are round and made of rubber, typically black in color. The one time I saw a pair of red tires on a car.
Red tires?
Yeah, red tires.
Huh.
Tremclad worked quite well.
I suppose there's no reason why not. You can make them whatever color you like, I suppose.
It was for a demolition derby car. Yeah, red on the back and pink on the front.
I have to say, I really like you, Blue. You normally knows what you're talking about. But I'm a bit concerned about George. He's going into Bev's YouTube chat all the time and saying stuff. And he always be attacked from all the all the people there that he's the ad hominem attacks. So I don't know what George is what he's doing there. He should stay out of there.
Yeah, well, there's no point. I'll go in there and make a comment occasionally.
Yeah, you do it sometimes also, yes.
Occasionally, but usually not, and I don't go in there attacking them unless they provoke me. I don't have any problem calling them a damn idiot if they attack me. I'll be glad to return the favor, but they're what's the point really? I mean, you just
Yes. You don't care if they call the idiot and things like that.
No, they're just trying to get you into a pig wrestling contest. You're going to lose. The pig is better at it than you are.
Still a good source of bacon.
True.
I really dislike this Australian woman, this Paige. She's a evil person, really.
She's just disgusting. That's about all I can say about her.
Yeah, disgusting. What's a better word?
I have no reason to ever want to have a conversation with her about anything, for any reason.
And Brenda is a bit too much because she comes in and the other day she started with calling Emma is what did she say? Emma is a bitch, or she started out with that, and that's not good in a discussion. So, but yeah.
I tried that Paige. I tried to engage Paige once. That's a rhyme. I once tried to engage Paige, but that once.
Yeah.
Probably wasn't successful though, was it?
No, I would never. No, I try everything at least once though.
Was it like trying to beat blood out of a turnip?
Exactly.
Or trying to get peach juice out of bananas?
Hey, newsflash. Tom C. Tudor out in the chat says, I know BMS knows nothing about science.
Yeah, and I don't know anything about LIGO. If that's the case.
Okie dokie. Well, Tom, that's okay. You're allowed.
I think this LIGO, but where the middle is 63 feet and the ends are 64 feet.
Yeah.
LIGO, not LIGO.
That must prove solely that the Earth is not flat. Or what?
Yeah. Our buddy God 420 was making a point that he was talking about Legos, the little snap together plastic thingies. Yeah. But your point is well taken, Genesis. The LIGO elevations. Now here's a problem with LIGO. What we're seeing there are the elevations of the concrete pad, not the elevations of the tube itself. And I'm still trying to find those elevations where they actually measured the tube elevations. So if there's that is the one and only hole in the argument with LIGO.
Yeah.
But the one they can't do anything with, and they have not been able to refute, and they will never be able to refute, are all of the GPS data that was taken by Jesse Kozlowski on that Lake Pontchartrain causeway. Because you take, you know, the XYZ data and plot the endpoints of the causeway and a point in the middle, and they are not in a straight line. There's a 90-foot sagitta there in the 27-meter sagitta in the center of that damn thing. And they have no way to refute that. Every time you bring it up, they run from it.
Should be a staple topic to bring up.
Oh, yeah,
Well, no,
I do.
if you're... Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I'm done. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, if you're Gary Wybanga, it's really easy to refute. You just say Jesse Kozlowski is a liar.
Well, that's the only answer they've got. That's all they can do.
But you are all wrong, because all the points are 5.8 feet above
Yeah.
the surface, so it must be a straight line.
Yeah, it looks like it should be, doesn't it? They're all 5.8. I think it's meters. They're all 5.8.
Okay.
LIGO is that LIGO location is the high point at one end or or at both ends equally.
That's
You know what I mean?
always the question. That's always the question.
You know, I mean, which end of it would be at the higher elevation, or is it dead center at
Well,
is
here's the deal. You've got the two sites. You've got the one at Livingston in Louisiana and the other one up at Hanford, Washington. One of the arms, only one, and it would be the west arm, the southwest arm at Livingston, is almost the same elevation at both ends. Both ends of that one are almost just slightly over 64 feet, and the elevation in the center is 63. But in the other three arms, each have a slope, an elevation change of about 4 feet. But still, it's easy enough now to take the two end elevations and figure out what the center elevation ought to be if it's in a straight line, and it's not. Each one of them has that 1 foot discrepancy in the center too. So
yeah,
either
I just
they
had the
made
most insane, impossible thing that could never happen because of friction. And that's that you could take a marble to one end of that and let that marble roll on the floor, and it should eventually find itself at the middle.
Yeah. Except
because
if you had a totally frictionless surface, that would work.
Yeah, even though that floor is absolutely flat.
Yeah, perfectly
that
straight.
floor is flat, but it's not level at either end with respect to gravity.
Yeah, it's only level in the middle.
Yeah, that's what I was asking: is if one of them was level in the middle.
Right. Yeah, that one arm is, and that's the easy one to look at. That's the one I usually talk about because you don't have to do any math. You just look at the elevations and say, "Uh-oh, there's a 1 foot difference here." On the other three, you got to take the average of the elevations at each end to see where the middle should be.
Right. I see what you're saying. Yeah. I still think that location would be the ultimate location to set up a ball contraption. World's record's most level ball contraption. Or I should say flat ball contraption.
That's a great idea. And then the middle where that ball sits is going to be a tangent to Earth's surface, so it's perpendicular. It's functioning as a plumb bob going one direction to the center of the Earth.
Yeah. But that place is so flat that you could set up some incredible ones there that are difficult to get working at any other location because you just can't get a place flat enough for them.
But Blue, you are an idiot because the angle
Because you say
between
so?
sorry, huh? Yeah.
Because you say so.
Let me finish. Or you can boot me. I was saying that the arms of LIGO is 90 degrees. But one arm is east and one arm is west. So it must be 180 degrees. Yeah, that's what the flatters said to you, yeah?
Yeah, that's exactly what they tried to say.
Yeah, and the Cincinnati airport is not in Ohio, it's in Kentucky. It's just a name.
Yeah, you could call them anything you want to call them. They call the ones.
Why is it even the flat earthers' remarks just do not seem to even make sense, logically speaking?
Because they believe in an illogical idiom.
I know, it just annoys me. It's just it's so far out of touch with Earth that it's like, excuse me, who? What? What are you talking about? Flat and level aren't the same thing.
Nope.
Flat Earther's brain is flat and level.
That may be the only thing that is flat and level.
It's so flat it's two-dimensional.
Blue may interest you. I posted a link to a company that I used to work with. It was called EG&G. They also had a subsidiary. It was Edge Tech. They would make sonar systems, but the original EG&G, or one of the founders, was Howard Edgerton, who developed the cameras used for the nuclear testing. All of those videos that you see of the nuclear testing in the 40s and all was done by the special cameras that he developed to be able to make these super high speed shutter speeds. They ended up becoming a nuclear regulatory body and did a lot with nuclear testing, and they moved on to power plants and everything too.
Yeah, I just stuck the link out in the YouTube chat too. Anybody that wants to take a look at that.
Yeah, they branched off whenever they had the some of the nuclear treaties to reduce testing, or to ban the above ground testing and all of that.
Yeah.
So they ended up branching off into a lot of things, including oceanographic mapping and stuff. And that's how I ended up dealing with them.
Yeah.
I'm very impressed of Where's Wally, because he is on Bev's Discord all the time, talking about different things, and they attack him all the time, but he's resistant.
Yeah.
Keep on adding there. So shout out to Where's Wally.
Yeah, he was in the chat there a minute ago.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mike Jones is Wally's favorite chew toy.
Yes, he was chewing it off his ear.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some of the pets I wish I owned, he wouldn't want to be the chew toy of.
Well, I must be awfully terrible then, because I've spoken one time, or I've actually made one comment on Bev's server, and it was about someone asking about a camera setting, and I told them, I think it was something about the resolution on the camera or something. And a couple of days later, I was banned, kicked off the server.
Well, it's because you said something truthful.
It's okay. I wasn't missing a whole lot, I guess.
Yeah, but whoever was asked that question from your reply probably did what you said to do and realized, wait a minute, probably started to lose the flat earth belief when you listened to your comment.
Well, he was just comparing two photos that he took at different times, and they were different. And I said it was probably because of your resolution. It was different. You're on your camera. I don't remember what the photo was. I don't even think it was anything to do with the flat earth or anything like that. But that was my only comment on that channel, and gone.
Well, that's about all it takes over there.
I think that the debate between Professor Dave and Dieter or David Weiss was the best I ever seen. Totally crushed him.
Oh, absolutely crushed him.
Yeah, really good.
He
Weiss.
so deserves it. That guy is so. Oh man, he makes my skin crawl.
Yeah, that guy's pure cringe.
Your very existence is an affront to all of science. That was devastating.
I mean, after what he did to that poor old lady, I can never forgive him.
No, that old lady, yes, that was disgusting. Yeah. She told her that when she was at school, they taught the flat earth. And she believed it and told him on camera that they learned her about the flat earth.
Yeah.
That must have been before 1950, because that's when I was in school, and we never heard once about flat Earth.
But she was over 100 years old.
Yeah, she's like 101, 100. And when I went back and I responded to him, I found photos of classrooms over about that exact year that she was in school, and found old photos of globes in classrooms.
The gyro compass was invented over 100 years ago, so a lot of people came over on boats that had gyro compasses on them.
Yeah, Sperry, I think, were the originals.
Sperry and Anschutz developed them about 2 years apart.
Yeah.
But this David Weiss must be making a lot of money on his app, or what's he live on?
Who knows? Yeah, we had globes in my classrooms, and I started school in 1956, I guess.
Yeah,
Seems like
Henry.
Dang, Blue, you're almost as old as I am.
Yeah, Henry the Navigator started a navigation school in the south of Portugal hundreds of years ago.
Yeah.
So.
I heard that Blue was 27. Was that wrong?
You got the right two numbers. You just got them in the wrong order.
Okay.
I started school in 1953, Blue.
Did you? All right. It's always...
Back in my day, cars had carburetors. Well, now they got these newfangled computer chips. They can't even get the damn things.
Yeah, damn kids and their rock and roll music.
I have a question for the Bob challenge. From, for instance, from Australia. If you take the Gleason map and take the angle to its I lost the names. From the east of Australia to Perth, you get a distance of 4,000 miles.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when you fly that or or drive that distance, it's only 2,800 miles or something.
Seems to be a problem.
Yeah. So that's a problem. Something is wrong.
Yep.
That's because your tires in your car is bigger
Yeah.
than.
And the whole case is that the Gleason map must be wrong.
No, they calibrated the odometer on the car while driving on the rims. And then when they put it up on tires to make the car go faster and ride smoother, they forgot to recalibrate the odometer.
Yeah, Ernie Matthews out in the chat says,
Yeah.
I started school.
I think Bob's challenge is that simple. But then the flat earthers think that this is ridiculous because he's totally wrong about the distance. So he's an idiot. Because they know the distance is not that long. Or something.
Well, they can argue about distances across oceans. And that's a little hard to refute. But it's impossible to refute the distance across a damn continent.
It really is, yes.
We can measure that with a tape measure, for God's sakes, and have. Many times. Yeah, I was reading
And if you know that your plane has so much fuel capacity and can only fly this exact distance, and when you land and it's got plenty of fuel left, why was I able to land again with half a tank? Boy,
tailwind.
Not when you're flying into a headwind.
Tailwind.
No, headwind.
Left. It had to be headwind. Tailwind. Right?
Yeah, no, we were flying into a headwind.
But you have half a tank left. You have to have a tailwind.
No, just we only had to fly half the distance the plane was able to go. It's just a quick island hop.
Wolfie 6020 had a new video now about the lighthouse somewhere on the west coast, Australia. It was really good.
Yeah, he's done that
Have you seen
lighthouse
it?
several times. No, go ahead.
No, I just asked you if you have seen it.
Oh no, I haven't seen his latest.
Okay.
But I'm pretty sure I know which lighthouse you're talking about. He's shot video of that several times. It's pretty compelling.
It was in Perth, I think.
Yeah, Wolfie lives in Perth.
And he was 2 meters above the sea level.
Yeah.
And a lot was missing, and then he was 10 meters above the sea level, and he could see a lot more.
Yeah, Wolfie.
And it was perfect.
Funny how that works.
Yeah, it was perfectly nice conditions. Yeah.
Yeah, Wolfie lives there in Perth, and some of my favorite Wolfie videos are the ones where he there's a street that he goes to, and that street is lined up perfectly east and west. And you can go on Google.
That's a good one. Yeah.
You go on Google Earth and you can find that location and go down to Street View and see exactly what he was looking at. And you can prove to yourself that that street is, in fact, east and west. And he's got pictures of the sun setting way south of west.
I was down to California one year when I was young and got to go on a helicopter ride. And boy, can you see a lot more when they take that thing up in the air a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
I wasn't thinking about the distance off the ground I'd be at, but I was looking at the view.
But try to make the sun set south of west on a flat map.
Well, when you get in a helicopter and it's just going dark, and you fly the helicopter up, and it's suddenly the sun shining on you again, and you look down, and where your helipad is, it's in darkness. You're in the sunshine. It's kind of
Yeah, that's a
But
problem
you know,
too.
Bev said that the Earth is not flat
Oh yeah, I know.
and it's not round.
But yet, when
Well,
you're
if the
that high in the air and you can see the sun shining on you, you have to have sunglasses on and looking straight down, and it's dark down below you.
Yeah, that's a good one too. But yeah, Genesis, that's the dishonest part of Bev. The man doesn't even have enough integrity about him to admit who he is. You can't say level and horizontal are the same, but I'm not a flat earther. What bullshit is that?
Yeah, but he has problem now. I think he is losing viewers, and he tries some tricks to get the viewers up again.
Yeah.
But I really think that he's losing it, so he will disappear soon.
Yeah, he's typically getting not more than 30 to 40 viewers on any of his live streams.
But if he get all this money from Rakia, he could continue.
Hey, if Rocky wants to throw his money away, that's fine with me.
Yeah.
I could care less.
And now Nathan is getting a new graphic card.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. So he can continue.
Yeah, he needed a new graphic card for some reason. Well, it does help with your editing a lot of videos, but I don't think he edits a lot. Some, I suppose. But
He doesn't need that for housekeeping.
no, hell no. All he needs for housekeeping is a smartphone. Android will work.
Yeah, but you wouldn't be able to teach the phone anything, even if it is a smartphone. The phone would know more than he does.
Does Quantum Eraser depend on Nathan's channel, or is his channel going okay? Or
I don't know. I never go to Quantum Eraser's channel, ever.
I don't either.
The guy has absolutely nothing that would interest me. Nothing he can say would interest me in any way.
What if you put out a video that was pronouncing that the Earth is a globe and that he was wrong?
Huh? He did what?
Say that suddenly there was a video popped up that was Quantum Eraser solemnly telling the honest truth about the Earth being a globe, that he had come to that realization. Would you watch that video?
Well, that might be the one thing that would cause me to start thinking it's flat.
Well said, Blue Man.
I was trying to look at this guy, Mitchell of Australia. I was trying to look at his videos, but it came up top left on my screen. I don't know why.
How the hell would Quantum Eraser pronouncing globe Earth to be the truth make you start thinking the Earth's flat? That don't add up. That's not 1 + 1 = 2.
I wouldn't click on that. because I would check the date first, make sure it's not April 1st.
Look, the answer is simple. I've never heard that guy say one damn thing that was right.
What if the video came out on the 4th of July?
Huh?
What if his video came out on the 4th of July pronouncing globe Earth is correct?
I wouldn't believe him.
No.
Either way.
And then the next day you check and there's another globe Earth video on there. And you see
No,
him
what would happen? What would happen is all the other flat earthers would call him a shill and controlled opposition.
Think so?
Oh, absolutely. That's what happens to every single other flat earther that went to the globe.
I thought you were a flat earther.
No. You don't know, Mr. Come on, Mr. Glass Monster. You don't remember me?
Yes, I know you. Come on.
Do you still use the the old telephone?
Say again?
Do you still use the old telephone to talk? Oh my god.
You know,
Yep. That's cool.
calling you, Sarge, I need Bill down the road.
Hey, telephone! It's for you. How you doing? And this thing will ring if I'm not on Discord, like a regular telephone.
You know what's crazy? That in the near future, a lot of kids are not even gonna, when you show them a picture of one of those, like you know how on your phone it'll show like they won't understand where that image came from eventually, because phones don't look like that anymore. So they'll see that and they won't remember, like, what's that symbol for?
No, hell, even my kids, who are in their 30s now, when they were little, my father still had an old rotary phone, and they couldn't figure that thing out to save their lives. It fascinated them.
Yeah, my grandmother used to have one. I used to use it.
Oh yeah.
I want to shout out Otis Life. I follow him for several years, and his stuff is good.
Hey,
and
thank
the
you.
guy seems to be a real nice guy. Keep up the good work.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Hey, if you guys hear a lot of popping in the background, I'm actually at a gun range right now.
Go Army.
I would be loved living in Hawaii. I've never been there.
But you talk about a rotary phone. How many people have never even heard a dial tone?
True.
Which is
Oh,
a B flat. I can remember in barbershop that if you didn't have your pitch pipe with you, you could just listen to dial tone and get a B flat.
Or if you didn't hang up the phone after someone hung up, it would go oh 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 oh.
Yeah.
My daughter actually was at Hawaii, and she had a friend called her mother because they were going out in this looking at sharks in this what's it called?
Did you hear the dial tone?
Yeah, we heard it.
Yes.
Yeah, I heard it.
Well,
Now everyone will know what a dial tone is. That
like
noise.
dial tones in different countries.
Okay. My daughter went out in a cage to look at the sharks, and then she had a friend to call her mother that this didn't went so well because we have an accident, and her mother nearly died. It was just a prank, but
Yeah, that's not a very good prank to play.
No, it was terrible. But I myself have never been to Hawaii, but I should love to be there. I think Hawaii is the farthest away you can get from any land, except the maybe the eastern islands. It's more far away. I don't know.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. Unfortunately, I'm gonna be leaving here in the next 3 months. So my time in Hawaii is coming to a close.
Where's your next duty station going to be?
I will be
Yeah, you're breaking up a little bit.
Completely. I think his dial tone's come through.
I'll be in Texas.
I can't understand him.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're roboting right now, B-Ball.
Now I see my hero. Where is Wally? He's in.
Hey guys.
Hey,
Shout
Wally.
out to you.
What's going on, buddy?
Oh, not a lot. I just had a bit of an epic session with Mike this morning. That's always good fun.
Yeah. I follow you all the time when you're discussing on the Bev's Discord.
Oh yes, I saw you had a bit of a session after I gave up on him.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
B-Ball, your connection is straight junk. Just don't try right now, please.
Yeah. But this guy, Mike Jones, he's a really bad person, yeah?
Oh, he is very special. And I mean that in the shortest, bussest type of way. I don't know about that
Brian,
guy.
your microphone sounds like a PA.
Is mine coming across all right or not?
Yeah, you're good.
Good. Yeah, it all started yesterday with Paige, and she is very special, that one. We're talking about, Mike posted a few images from the salt flats there in Bolivia. And so I made a few comments, of course, and I just escalated from there. But so Mike put up a video yesterday from the salt flats, and one section in the video is really good because there's a drone shot, and they start off really high with the drone, and you can see the far shore. I actually put an image there in the live chat. You can see on the far shore, you can see the hills and you can see the dry salt on the far shore. And as the drone drops down, there's no reflection, and all of a sudden there's a reflection. You can see that the horizon gets a lot closer and it's now totally just water. Well, I reckon that's a pretty cool globe sign, but of course they weren't having any of that, were they? So I've been called all sorts of names over there today.
The Bolivian salt flats prove the geoid. They prove gravity. It's completely spherical. You can see it from space. Who was wanting to talk about the Bolivian salt flats? Who was that?
Oh, Mike. Mike thinks it's a total win.
Mike Jones.
Because here's the thing. Shout out to SE Montreal. He actually was harping on about it like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So I made a video about it, and he hasn't talked about it since. And in fact, he refuses to even watch the video or admit that he has. But basically, I just did I looked for the survey of it, and they actually calibrated satellites, including, I believe, the Magellans. And so it's to shill my channel there. I'll post the chill channel.
Wally, I saw in the Bev's Discord that you were only the number 2 in Australia. What's your answer to that?
Oh, that was another bit of fun I had with them. They were talking about Wolfpack, and this is Wolfie's Wolfpack that we started as a bit of a joke. And I just said I'm number 2 because I was probably I'm the second biggest channel in that thing, and Oh, they just love that sort of stuff. They eat it all up. Oh, you're number 2, are you? Oh dear. Oh. So they get all excited because it's just a total joke. But they eat it. They eat it up like nobody's business. It's like I got Wolfie a while back to make a video. I said to him, look, next time you're in the plane, take your sextant with you, and I dare you to sit on the flight deck and say, here's my sextant, and we use it when everything else fails. And he did it. He got in the cockpit and he pointed to all the instrumentation and all the navigational gear. He said, we've got this, we've got 5 of these and 3 of these, but when all else fails, I pull out the sextant. And Mitchell and what's his name, Brian's Logic, totally ate it up. Thought, oh, Wolfie actually uses a sextant in the plane in an emergency. Oh, we'll have to know, how does he do that? And Wolfie just couldn't get over the fact that they just totally bought it. And even to make it matters worse, then Quantum Eraser and Nathan Oakley was sprouting the same thing a month or so later on Nathan's channel. So the guys have got absolutely no idea.
Yeah, so I posted my Bolivian salt flats video in August of 2020. And
okay.
It shut up SE Montreal, so it should work for the logbook.
Oh, well, you'll have to find me and drop me a link, and I might post it back at Mike, because I was having a big back and forth with him, and I made a bit of a mistake. I said something about, see that 4x4 drive there? That's on the horizon. And how far away do you think it is, and all this sort of stuff. And I thought I had him. And then I noticed on one other frame, it's not quite on the horizon. You can see the reflection line cuts the tyres right in about half. So I thought, look, I'll do the right thing. I'll own up and say, yeah, look, you're right. That's not quite right on the horizon. It's just slightly in front of it. Oh, dear. Now every time I go there, I'm going to get hammered with memes about how Wally was wrong. Even though I owned it and I gave him the information, I'm still going to get hammered every time I go there now by this one mistake that I made.
Well, I know how to remedy that. What you do is you give them a Bolivian salt flats challenge. Okay?
Yep.
So not only it's on the videos, I've posted my video in Shill Your Stuff channel.
Oh, brilliant. Yep.
So what happens is, what you do now is you will see on the actual survey of the Salar de Uyuni is what it's called.
Yep, that's the one.
They've got it all surveyed up into triangles. What you do is you bet them, especially take the biggest triangle there, and you can guarantee that there will be spherical excess. It's more than 180 degrees.
Oh, great. I love it.
The bigger the triangle, the more than 180 degrees it's going there.
Yeah, I get how it works. They don't, but I get how that works nicely.
I would bet the farm on that.
Yeah. I'll go and do that right now. Oh, it's been good chatting to you guys. I better go. I've got to keep moving.
Hey, thanks for dropping by, Wally. Good to see you.
Not a problem, Blue. Not a problem.
Take it easy, Wally.
That's right, Blue. He's a good Australian. Look after him, guys.
It must be midday now in Australia, Wally.
9 o'clock, 10 o'clock in the
9
morning.
o'clock. Okay, so
Yeah.
8:24 p.m. here.
Oh. Okay, guys. Got to run. Bye now.
All right.
Yeah.
See you, buddy.
Yeah.
goodbye, Wally. I think that Brian's logic must be the most idiotic flat earthers of all. Maybe what's that Scottish guy called in the shed? I'm losing it.
Dell?
Dell, thank you.
Oh,
yeah,
Dell,
Dell could be a contestant to Brian Logic, maybe.
Yeah, Brian's seems to be, personally a reasonably decent guy, and he doesn't ad hom people and do all that stuff. Well, he's getting to where he does more of it than he used to, but still nowhere near as bad as a lot of the other ones.
But you know about these Skoy Moils.
Skoy Moils? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a pretty thick accent. There's no doubt about that. He's so sure about everything, though. and so wrong about everything at the same time.
Yeah.
It's kind of sad.
But he's often into Nathan and discussing things out.
Yeah.
Yeah. The smart guys in there is Brian's Logic, and then there you have this tense.
10th man. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you have QE. That's the smart guys in there.
Yeah, Brian's logic is so confident. His confidence is off. Like, he's going to tell you, right? And there's no question in his mind. It's really like he's reading off a script.
Oh, yeah. Hell, he's been trying to tell Wolfie how to fly an airplane for the last 2 years.
Hey, Blue Marble, are you ever going to accept a friend's request from me?
I don't know. Have I got one? I could go look. I don't know. I don't see you. You're in here somewhere, I'm sure.
What is George today? Is he working or what?
Huh?
George with Khan.
Oh, George?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I believe he is the smartest guy I've seen around the YouTube world here.
Yeah,
He knows
George,
a lot of stuff.
George does know his stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a high school education in physics and math. But George knows a lot more than me.
Well, you found me anyway. She said hi.
Yeah, I did.
Now I gotta do is accept that friend's request.
But George was a bit unlucky when his house burned down.
Well, that way you can say you're friends with God even though you're an atheist.
Yeah, I gotta shut down some stuff to even get to it right now. So it's a bit of a problem.
Side note, and jumping back into the event horizon pictures of the Milky Way galaxy photo, for some reason, I was listening to Geos earlier today, and Witsit was trying to talk about how this was a perfect picture of a toroid. And I have no idea where he got that idea, because it just doesn't look remotely like one.
I don't know either, but it's Witsit.
And somehow he and Grimm were connecting in this weird, it's a electric universe way, with Witsit claiming electric universe is flat and Grimm claiming it's not. It was kind of a bizarre moment.
I heard a little bit of that. Wasn't too sure what to make out of it, honestly. Grimm's okay until he gets off on his electric universe.
I wonder if it runs on 220 volts, 50 or 60 hertz, or 120 volts.
Oh, who knows? How are you, Mr. Peck? How have you been?
Oh, busy. Haven't really had a time to be on anything for more than a few minutes in the past couple weeks. People are sick with people are sick with other things again, and it's
Oh.
I won't talk too much about it.
So the toroid, though, if it's, I mean, what happens if you bite an electric donut?
I wouldn't try that.
If I'm going to buy an electric donut, it's going to have some jelly in the middle of it.
I'm a bit interesting. What happened to the 419 gods before God 420?
I smoked them.
Okay. No offense.
420.
Well, God has this annoying habit of keep changing his name through history. Oh, Yahweh, last monster, and now it's God 420.
I only say one thing. Allah Akbar.
He changes his name more times than David Bowie and Prince combined.
When have I changed my name, Sonny? I've never been called Allah.
I think
that depends on who wrote the book.
I think Yahweh first he was called L something, and he had some discussion with the other gods, and they decided that he was the highest god, and then he changed his name to Yahweh.
It was El Elohim. El Elohim.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, yeah, Elohim is plural, isn't it?
Is it?
Why do you think the Ten Commandments start with "Thou shalt have no gods before me"?
Yeah, that's rather telling. Yes.
Yeah, it assumes that there's other gods besides him.
That should be, there must be other gods. It's really funny.
So if changing your name is a sign of divinity, does that make Lemon Bird Jesus?
I'm not sure what it makes Lemon Bird, but it doesn't make him Jesus.
I heard that if you say Lemon Bird 3 times, he will enter. Is that true?
Kind of like Beetlejuice.
Well, let's not chance it.
Yeah, really.
But it certainly makes him more responsive than Jesus.
Well, you got a point. You have a point.
Oh, look at that. Their least favorite flat earther.
Who's that?
What am I missing?
Yeah, me too. Must have missed it.
That's one big black hole. If Pluto's orbit fits in there, and Voyager 1's basically almost at the edge. Wow.
Yeah.
I did not say anything.
That's M87. That thing is enormous.
Anybody hear me? Mic check, mic check.
Yeah.
You're good. We hear you.
Okay. I was under the impression that when they were shooting the black hole that they were looking at the same exact one, but it's not the same one.
No. Nope. The first one was M87. And this is ours. This is Sagittarius A star.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I could have swore the first one was from our galaxy too, but apparently not.
No.
Okay.
No, that's the. I guess that's the name of the galaxy, M87.
It was so funny this morning. I was in Geos and Witsit was trying to argue that we're not actually looking at a black hole. We're looking at We're looking through a ferrofluid that looks similar to a black hole.
What kind of fluid?
Ferrofluid.
Like a
ferro-
ferrocell. Yeah.
I wonder if
Talking
he
about
realized.
talking about Witsit, what is happening to Nathan Thompson these days?
I don't
He's
know.
just he's been really shelved by most of the community after he got caught wearing a duck suit.
Yeah, that one was good. Yeah.
Well, that's amazing that it took a duck suit to get people upset with him.
Oh, he went on everywhere claiming that he was a part of the biggest experiment. He did this, he did that. He was going to prove it to everybody. And then everyone found out that he's just a gullible idiot. And that kind of turned everybody off to him.
So his anti-Semitic ramblings didn't hurt him, but the duck suit does. Okay.
Yeah, the duck suit did him in. That was about the stupidest thing I've seen in a long time.
I can't believe he actually believed that those two guys were being truthful to him.
You mean like stupider than screaming at school kids in a playground?
Far stupider.
He bought that hook, line, and sinker. That was hilarious.
Can I have the channel for a minute?
Yeah.
Lemon bird, lemon bird, lemon bird.
Hey, don't be doing that.
Oh my goodness. Why would you do that?
Oh, Lord.
It can work.
Although today we did find out something interesting. There's actually a flat earther that is so distasteful, even Lemon Bird doesn't like it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
It's Demok. He was throwing barbs at Demok.
Yeah,
Okay.
I heard that.
Demok is special, eh?
He's the worst of the worst.
I had the distinct pleasure of banning him from Dr. Bob's server.
Oh, no.
Hey, no fair. No fair. You're supposed to tell me to do it.
But you're God. You're supposed to know everything that's happening before it happens.
Yeah, Lemon was like begging somebody in Gems to mute him. Like, please mute this guy. I can't listen to him anymore.
Yeah, I have
Well, sometimes people are dealt lemon birds. You know what I mean? They just got the problems.
Yeah, I have a hard time listening to Demok. I usually just leave.
I really like Lemon Bird. He seems to be a nice guy, but when he says something, it's totally word salad. You have no idea what he's talking about. I think he's a nice guy.
Just
maybe we should send Demok to Ukraine. Maybe the Russians will leave too.
Yeah, that was a good idea.
Would you really want to invoke that kind of misery on the Ukrainians?
No, if you get the Russians out of there.
That's against the Geneva Convention.
Good one.
I think Shikey's right.
Well, it was a thought.
Just tell the Ukrainians after the Russians are all gone, they can do with them whatever they wish.
Yeah. It is interesting now that I'm Swedish, you all know, but Finland has said that they will join NATO soon. So Sweden will do it too. So that's a blow to Russia. Everyone is into NATO now. So if they attack, we will be protected by the Americans.
Speaking of that, I'm actually very surprised by the number of flat earthers that are pro-Russia. Like, I didn't realize being a flat earther would make you entirely stupid.
Wow.
You have to screw up everything. Volcanoes are fake. Gorillas are fake. Birds are fake. It's when you've hit the bottom of that rabbit hole. Everything's game.
Oh, they
Well, to be fair, that's Hans Wormhat, though. That's not a flat earther. That's literally just a disgusting human being trying to get views on the internet.
Oh, yeah, Mr. Penguins are fake. Hans Wormhat.
No, they guard the ice wall. They've got machine guns, so be careful.
I was about to say that too. All the penguins in protecting the ice wall, so there is no penguins to protect Russia.
Yeah, they're just dwarfs dressed in penguin suits protecting the ice wall. Every once in a while we lose one to a sea lion or something, but you know.
I still think we can get rid of a lot of the flat earthers. Just get them laid. Get them out of their mother's basement and get them laid.
You really want flurf kids?
You know, you can give them protection. You know.
I think it skips a generation.
I think the problem was they were laid.
Yeah.
There's that.
How's it going, Joe?
How you doing, Hunter?
Good.
Good to hear it.
Hi, Hunter. How you doing?
Good.
I have a problem with the flat earthers. I mean, they're intense. They don't. Now I'm back to my bad English. But I think
that's how bad they are.
A lot
they
of
even break your brain thinking about them. Sorry.
He's trying to discuss the details. Why is the world is not flat? It's a globe. But the flat earthers has no intention to discuss if the earth is flat or round. They're only interested to get into what you say and find small things that they can attack. They have no intention to discuss the bigger issue. They only try to get to you with your details.
Yeah, it's a gotcha thing. Almost every discussion they're looking
Yeah,
for a little
they
gotcha.
always trying to find a got you to discuss. Yes, that was my 2 cents.
Usually the gotcha is, haha, you don't have an exhaustive knowledge of theoretical physics, therefore I win.
Oh, that
Exactly.
MC Toon had a real genius on last night. Chris Curtis talking about the fifth dimension. I thought that was a pop band from the 60s. Yeah, but what do I know? He's a fan of quantum mechanics, but he thinks the Earth is flat. Well, you talk about wrap your head around that one.
How?
You could be a fan of quantum mechanics and be a flat earther. It's when you get people like Quantum Eraser who say, I'm very experienced in the fields of quantum mechanics, and I'm a flat earther, that you have to be like, about that.
It's like square circles. They don't exist.
Well, you got to love those self-proclaimed experts, especially the ones that are very, very expert.
But you don't.
But I got in here kind of late. What was the actual plot tonight?
Nothing in particular. Just rambling away.
Black hole.
Yeah, the black hole.
Speaking of black holes, what do you have coming down the pipe when it comes to stupid? There, Blue?
It's been difficult to find any stupid that didn't, just a replay of something that's already been done.
We definitely could have picked up Rakia trying to discuss evolution this morning. Oh my god.
I have an announcement. Everyone should listen now. All horizontals are parallel. Did you get that?
Yeah, we got it. Thanks for pointing that out. But I got an announcement too. Level is not horizontal.
You are a liar.
The definition one in this dictionary tells me that it is perfectly flat.
Oh yeah, that's something I was going to do. I got something in mind here. Because I get tired of seeing this over on Bev's channel. Let me look this up real quick.
You have to be you have to be careful with Blue Marble. He's a Jesuit.
I'm a bit curious about Bev. He says he's a carer and he takes care of his wife. So is that what he makes his living, or
I don't
what's
know.
this all about?
I don't know.
Do we get any money from the YouTube channel?
Oh, I guess he's monetized. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Who are we talking about?
Bev.
Oh, Bev. Oh.
Well, we know if he needs a camera, security camera, he gets the money.
Yeah, let's see.
It's easier to harass billy goats from under a bridge.
Let me change the window for you guys in Discord. Let's see, let's do that.
Bev have some minions over there. And I think that SC Montreal is the most stupid one of all them. He's totally wrecked. And I think SC Montreal was a flat earther before he met Bev.
No, SE wasn't a flat earther up until he got into the Bev crew. Before that, he was a stationary earther who knew we lived on a globe that was dozens of times bigger than we were told.
Oh.
Because that makes perfect sense.
That's right.
He found somebody even more ridiculous than himself.
Yeah, that's right. SE was that's what SE stands for, Stationary Earth. But this one, this Merriam-Webster definition on the screen is what Bev points to day after day after day, and I'm tired of seeing it. So pay attention, Bev. You look only at definition entry 1 of 3. Guess what happens if I go down here and look at the adjective definition 3 of 3? Having no part higher than another, conforming to the curvature of the liquid parts of the Earth's surface. Why do you leave that out, Bev?
Well, they destroy the English language. There's like no field that they can't destroy. Even English grammar is wrong.
Yep.
They can't even find down.
Exactly.
Yeah, water is one of the one things you could never say is truly flat.
So that's my rant for the afternoon. And with that little rant, I think I'm going to say goodnight to the YouTube crowd. It's getting close to time to find something to eat around here. And
may I interest you in a double bacon moose burger with cheese?
Don't think so. I've already got it planned. Know exactly.
Mushrooms also?
Nope. But anyway, hey, thanks everybody for showing up. I appreciate it. Maybe we'll do another one tomorrow night. And with that, say bye to the YouTube crowd, everybody.
Adios.
Bye.
Goodbye, y'all.
All right.
Buena vista.
You guys have a good evening. See you later.